I'm gonna be replacing the back tube on the pocket bike. So I got a flat, I think I just ran something over, but the tire's not holding air anymore. But there's a tube inside here, so I think I punctured the tube. So I'm gonna replace the tube in this video. Take out the bolt and then pull out the axle. You just have to push it forward so you can loosen the chain, take it off real quick, and then you can pull it back out because it's under tension right now. So once you take it out, you have to push the wheel up and then push the chain right off it, and then you can pull it back. All right, so actually you have to take this cover off too. I didn't think you had to, but you actually have to take this cover off because it'll make it easier when you're taking this chain out right here. It'll be more exposed and easier to slip it off. All right, when doing this, it's good to apply a little like soapy water around both sides just so it's a little easier when slipping off. And you can really use like any size you want for a tire like this. It's not really gonna be that hard, but these are the different sizes I got. I got a bigger one to start off, you know, easier for more leverage. I have one of these, like, it's good to have like a screwdriver that has tape over it or something if you don't have like panel clips, or you're trying to like get into a tube and there's a tube in here, you don't want to puncture the tube if you're putting a new one in, or if you're just prying to take the tire off but the tube is still good, like you might puncture the tube, so just be careful. Separate the bead, so just hit from like here and here and press down with your hands. You can kind of see right here how it's already wanting to separate. These are pretty easy to separate the bead, but just do it on both sides. Take one hand here, one hand on the other side. Just press straight down and then you'll separate the bead, or it might already be separated, probably is, but just do that on both sides, and then we'll start prying at one edge to pull the rubber over the rim. So when doing this, if your sprocket's in the way, you can also take it off by just taking those off, but I'm just gonna work around it because it's not that hard to do. You just have to get a flathead under there, go off to the side of the sprocket, go underneath it, pull the rubber up, and that's when you're gonna need another one of these to pry underneath and slide across down here. You pretty much just work all the way at the end. You just find a spot where you can put another flathead in and pry down and pull up like that. You see how the rubber comes up like that? So pretty much you just keep going from here, then you go to over here, pry that over, and then probably when you get about halfway through, everything's just gonna come up. So all you're doing is just prying so you can separate the top part of the tire to get over the rim. And then after, we'll flip it over and it'll be easy to take the bottom half off the rim. It's really not that hard. It's actually, it'll come out pretty easy. So you just kind of have to pry on this part of the rim instead of the front part. You just pry at the back and push it out. Just be careful with the valve stem. You don't want to break it. I think it's under there. So I'm gonna rotate this a little bit just so I don't pry on that end, but it's about to come out right now. When everything's separated, this is also a good time if you need to replace like bearings and stuff in here, you know, your brake rotor, your sprocket, your axle shaft, just stuff like this. Or if you want to repaint your wheels, I'm actually gonna be painting these wheels black and then letting that dry for a little bit, then I'm gonna put it back on here, and it'll look cool too, because once I do the back one's always a little bit harder because there's more components you got to take off. The front wheel, it's pretty simple. It's just one bolt, slide the axle shaft through, and then that's all you need to do to take the front wheel off. So that's why I'm going to do the back wheel first, and then I'll paint the front one black, and I don't know, just make the bike look a lot nicer. Because I painted this too black. This was actually chrome. It has a little scrapes on it, but I mean, it looks a lot better than it was chrome, I think. And then maybe even this too, like wrap this too or something, make it a different color. Put the new tube on, just make sure there's no debris left inside, no stickers or anything on the walls that can cause this to pop again, because you wouldn't want that after you just put a new tube in. So I got the wheels done with paint. Paint didn't really come out the way I wanted it to, but I wanted it to be black, so I mean, that's cool. They're black now, so it look a little bit better. But now I'm just gonna take all this stuff off and then put the new tube onto the tire and then mount the rim back on here. All right, so I got the tire back on. It wasn't too hard. I just lubed it up with some soap and then just pushed it right on. Honestly, you didn't have to really pry at it too much with these, but if you do, you just kind of have to pry it on a little bit, but this just slipped on if you just put soap on. The little trick is just to use a little bit of grease, like bearing grease or brake grease, whatever, and put it on like the bearings inside here so they'll stick when you slide the axle shaft through. It'll just make it easier when installing it so they don't keep falling off. The grease will keep it in place. All right, so I got the bike back together. I don't have the rear brakes hooked up right now, but I do still have the front ones, so it'll be all right for a little test run. But it looks pretty cool with the black wheels. The paint didn't really come out that good, but I mean, it looks better than before. I actually like this look a lot better. All right, so everything's good. I went for a little test run on it. Back tire holds there pretty good. No flats or anything yet. I checked for air bubbles on the tires. Front one's good though, so I didn't have to worry about that. But the black wheels look pretty cool. They didn't come out that good, but you know, it is what it is. It wasn't that bad. But stay tuned for more. I'm gonna be doing more videos on the pocket bike coming up. I wanna do like NOS or something crazy on a 4-stroke. I haven't really seen too many people use NOS on a 4-stroke yet, so I might blow it up, but you never know. We'll see. But stay tuned.